There we go. Hello, everybody. We are live on Facebook in the Boost Your Brain and Prevent Dementia group. And we are going to be talking today to Dr. Heather Shenkman, a cardiologist who is also vegan. And we've got a lot to talk about there. But first, I want to welcome you. My name is Kate Kunkel, and I'm your host here on Brain Health Matters and the founder of this series of courses, programs, and videos just like this. Everything here is designed to help you become healthier so your brain becomes happier and stronger. And I'm here today a whole lot excited because my newest book is out and it hit #1 in a couple of categories, specifically in vegan diets. And this is just making me so happy. And this month, Veganuary, is why I've invited experts in their field like Dr. Shankman to talk about a vegan diet. Thank you for joining us, Heather.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm excited. So folks, Heather Shenkman is an interventional cardiologist in Tarzana, California, and I know exactly where your office is. I looked up your address. I used to live out that way. Her passion is to combine evidence-based cardiac care with lifestyle medicine, and that sets her apart, I'm sure, from many of her colleagues in medicine. She's the author of The Vegan Heart Doctor's Guide to Reversing Heart Disease, Losing Weight, and Reclaiming Your Life. That's available on Amazon. She's also the mother to 2-year-old Ava and a 9-year-old retired racing greyhound, Ozzy. Welcome again, Dr. Shankman.
Great to be here with you. You're in Ecuador, right?
I am in Ecuador. I certainly am here on the coast. It's just summer now, and we're just really enjoying it.
Nice, nice. It's feeling like winter in California, unfortunately. It's cold, it's icky.
The good thing is it doesn't last too long, generally speaking, at least not in that area. So first, I have to ask you, Heather, about being a vegan athlete. Now, I know that you're pretty busy with a 2-year-old now, so you don't have a lot of time to do that sort of thing. But I have a 9-year-old grandson who simply cannot understand how I can survive without eating meat. So for the benefit of Logan, when I get him to see this, tell us how a person can be strong even without eating meat.
Wow, that's a great question. And you're right. A lot of people think that you need meat because meat provides you protein, but there are so many other places that you can get protein from that are in a plant-based diet, beans and lentils and tofu and grains. And, if you believe it, a pound of spinach has more protein than a pound of beef. Not that you're going to sit down and eat a pound of spinach. But the point is, you don't need animal products or meat to get your protein.
Right. And, I think that's a big thing. Everyone that you talk to, especially if they're really skeptical or they think I belong to a cult of vegans, they'll say like, how, there's no way you can get enough protein on a plant-based diet. But protein is actually one of the easiest things to get, from what I understand.
Yeah, this is very true. And there are certain foods like seitan and TVP, textured vegetable protein, which are just chock full of protein, very high in protein.
Yeah, so we can do it without that. And that's what gives us strength to be athletes or whatever we want to be.
Absolutely. And one of the things I can tell you that I noticed when I was competing and doing Ironman distance triathlons is I always felt like I recovered faster than my teammates who were eating a omnivorous diet. And I've had teammates have gone plant-based who noticed that they felt that difference, that when they were eating plant-based, that their recovery times were so much quicker than when they were not eating plant-based.
That's interesting. I never thought of that recovery time itself. Wow. So now you're a cardiologist. So you must see a lot of people with not very good hearts, obviously, otherwise they wouldn't be coming to you. It must be very frustrating for you.
It is, but I feel like most people are willing to change if they know that making positive changes in their diet is going to help them to be healthier. So I honestly come at it, and sometimes it's a little frustrating, but I come at it from a point of feeling like I'm empowered to help people.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about the brain health, because I must say though, I do get a little bit frustrated with the reticence, like I can't give up cheese. Oh my gosh, I can't give up cheese. How can I be healthy if I give up cheese? Or I'd miss the taste. And that makes me a little frustrated as a health coach. I certainly don't have your area of expertise, but it makes me a little frustrated. But I think I'm going to have to use your thought process there a little bit with the feeling like you're empowering them. Yeah, that's great. So when you first have someone come to your office with a diet, now I would imagine most of them would come from a referral. Is that correct?
It really depends. I have people who seek me out because they're looking for a plant-based doctor, and I have
Oh,
others I've been caring for their mother or their father or their sibling, and they want a cardiologist and they come and see me. So I get people from all walks of life. I see people who are hardcore vegans, and I see people who can't make it through a meal without an animal product, and everything in between.
cool. So then if you do have someone come in and you find that they are struggling with some issue with their heart, what's generally speaking the first thing you would recommend to them then?
Well, I think the first thing that I'm going to do is evaluate them and make sure that everything with their heart is stable, like to make sure that they are not having something acutely going on with their heart, or they're not having angina and they don't need something like a stress test. And if somebody is fairly stable, then we can talk about what we can do for the heart. And when it comes to heart health, yes, medications are important. Medications can prolong life, but that goes hand in hand with making lifestyle changes as well. Making sure that people are putting the right foods into their body, to make sure that people are getting the exercise that they need, that they are managing their stress, that they are not smoking. So
Mm,
I really try to combine the allopathic, the medicine and the stress testing and angioplasty with also the lifestyle. They go together.
right, right. Um, and of course, my specialty is brain health. And one of the things that I like to talk to my clients about is that we can't have a healthy brain without a healthy heart. Um, and as a cardiologist, I'd like you to say why that might be. Why is it so important to our brains to have a healthy heart?
I think that's so right, because I do have people who come to me. They say, that the one thing that matters to me the most is, I have a mother who had dementia, and I want my brain to be healthy for years to come. And I tell them, well, the things that are going to keep your heart healthy are also going to keep your brain healthy. I mean, everything that we talk about with respect to lifestyle and nutrition and medication where needed is also beneficial for the brain, because, for example, if you think about it this way, a heart attack is death of heart muscle. A stroke is death of brain tissue. And often the process that causes heart attack and the process that causes stroke, often they are very similar types of processes, and are the pathology behind them is atherosclerosis in most cases.
Right. I have to say, my dad had 3 serious strokes, bang, 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 and he had heart issues. And now he's doing pretty well cognitively. He does have some issues. I think it's frontotemporal because he has no filters anymore. So that's a bit of an issue. But I keep telling him, Dad, you got to stop with the bacon. You got to stop with the butter. And he's really good when I'm there coaching him, but not so good when I'm away, obviously, and I'm 5,000 kilometers away. So it's difficult. But if you run into someone who's like having issues like that, with heart issues, with high blood pressure, with arteriosclerosis, what would you recommend to them in terms of like the first part of their diet? So we can say cut this out, but what would you like if you had a plan, like meal plans to start with for people who are really not so sure? Because I know Joan, who's just on the call here with us, she put up, my husband has trouble with some of this. So what would you say to someone who's really not really keen on changing their lifestyle?
Right. So when it comes to diet, I know a lot of people are very ingrained in their foods and their habits of what they eat. I try to come at it from a standpoint not of depriving, like you got to cut out the fast food, you got to cut out the fried stuff, you got to cut out the meat, you got to cut out the dairy. I try to come at it initially from a perspective of let's add things in. So what's missing from your fruits and vegetables? So why don't we start by adding a vegetable to or a salad to lunch and a vegetable or salad to dinner? And that's the one change we make. And it's funny because I tell some patients to do that. And then they tell me they've made further changes on their own. So I try to make it feel like I'm not depriving people, because I think no matter how you eat for health, it's got to be sustainable. It's got to be enjoyable.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. If you feel like you're depriving yourself, it's like people who need to lose weight, if they feel like they're depriving themselves. And from a heart health point of view, I personally have lost 42 pounds since I went vegan a few years ago. It was such a difference for me. I'm 64, and I was, feeling a few years ago that I was just not moving very well, and I wasn't thinking very well. But I also was living in Ecuador, where there's fish everywhere and that sort of thing. And it's hard to give that up, but maybe I like your idea of saying, well, you might give that up, but let's do something that makes it even better. I love that point of view.
Yeah. By the way, you don't look 64.
Oh, thank you. It's the Zoom filters. So let's talk now about exercise, because that's one thing I do hound my clients to exercise because it's so important for the brain. How about you with the heart?
Well, just like you said, exercise is important for the brain. It's very important for the heart. It prolongs life. It reduces the risk of heart attack and stroke. It's good for maintaining brain function for years to come. And I try to emphasize the why behind it. But I try to keep the exercise simple too. For most people who I take care of, it's really just a matter of putting on a pair of walking shoes and getting out the door and going for a walk.
Yes, walking, very important. Yes,
Yeah.
very important. Heather, because we were playing a little bit to get here on time, I'm just going to go get my power bar. I should have had it before. I'll be right back, everybody. I just don't want to run out of juice.
Okay, that's fine.
But Heather, if you could tell folks maybe some other tips that you could share for heart health that we didn't cover yet.
Sure. I think when it comes to heart health, it's really about the basics. I think that most people know what they need to do. It's a matter of the why. It's a matter of getting from knowing what you should be doing to actually doing those things. When I tell patients they need to be eating better and that they need to exercise, or that they're carrying some extra weight, I don't think I'm not really telling people things they don't necessarily know on some level. So it really is just a matter of finding the why and getting the motivation to do those things. And if people see that they are feeling better, if they see that their blood pressure is coming down, if they see that their cholesterol numbers are coming down, that's all good motivation to keep on maintaining those positive habits.
That's so true. If you feel better, you want to keep feeling better. Yeah, especially if you felt bad for a while and now you're feeling better.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about your book. I can't get mail here, so I can't get the paperback copy. So I haven't been able to read it yet. Isn't it weird we don't have mail here? Anyway, I know it's Ecuador. There are so many things that are so strange here, but that's one of them. But tell people about your book, because I really would like to encourage people to have a look at it.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for letting me talk about my book. It's called The Vegan Heart Doctor's Guide to Reversing Heart Disease, Losing Weight, and Reclaiming Your Life. Let me grab a copy.
Yes, that would be great. Because you know what? I think that with somebody paying attention, like I could probably get my dad to think more about looking after his heart because he has a diagnosis than about his brain.
Yes. So this is my book. It's my lovely mug on the front and some lovely fruits and vegetables.
And so how can people get this?
you can buy the book on Amazon. If you just punch in my name, Heather Shankman, in book, like the first link that's going to come up is the Amazon link. But let me tell you about what's in the book.
Yes.
This was like 7 years of my life writing this book. And what I really wanted to do was to put into words like what I would tell people they need to know for heart health. So I break it up into really 3 pieces. So the first thing I talk about is what is heart disease, what's high blood pressure, what's high cholesterol, what's diabetes, and why these are important. And then I get into exercise and how to start exercising, what kind of exercise to do, and then diet. And I talk a lot about plant-based eating and the whys and the hows of plant-based eating, and then putting it all together for like a whole heart lifestyle.
Perfect. It sounds like, I mean, we could just put the Heart Doctor's Guide to Brain Health too, because it's the same kind of thing that I dealt with in Don't Let the Memories Fade, my first book. It's the same thing. We have to understand what the problems are before we feel the motivation perhaps to fix them. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. My motivation, my mom passed away with dementia 2 years ago. And my sister and I are very committed to making sure we don't travel down that path. And now with Dad with his heart problems, the same thing. We've got double whammy to make sure we don't follow that path. So if somebody was in California, but now do you do any virtual medicine at all that you could help people?
I do. I do telemedicine consultations. Unfortunately, laws being what they are, I can only, in California, I have a California medical license. I can only take care of people who are in the state of California. So if somebody's like, up in Sacramento and wanted to do a telemedicine consult with me, I could do that, even without seeing them like physically in person in my office. But I can't. Just legally, I can't see people who are outside of the state because I don't have.
Gotcha. Understood. Yeah, we have to keep those regulators happy again, don't we? So I want to close off with just a little bit more about the connection between the heart and the brain. Specifically, what is it that would be a problem for our brains if our hearts are not healthy? So like, is it circulation? What is it about our heart specifically that we might want to think about for brain health?
I think it really goes back to the point that the things that are good for the heart are good for the brain, that you need good circulation to your brain, which clearly comes from having a healthy heart, first of all, but also in that maintaining healthy habits can reduce the risk of atherosclerosis or plaque buildup, which occurs not only in the arteries of the heart, but also in the arteries of the brain and the arteries in the remainder of the body.
Yeah, I never think about atherosclerosis. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay, Heather, thank you so much. I promised not to take too much of your time, and I stick to my promise. I want you to be able to go on and look after the people that you are charged with looking after and have time to spend with your beautiful little daughter. Folks, Dr. Shankman, how can people see your work on your website? What's your website?
Okay. Well, my website is drheathershankman.com, drheathershankman.com. That'll take you to my office website, which will give you links to the book. It'll give you links to my blog. I am on Twitter and I am on Instagram with the handle at veganheartdoc, veganheartdoc.
Perfect. We'll make sure that I put those in the show notes. Thank you so much for joining us. Joan, before we go, did you have any questions or anything? Because she's here. We have a guest that's one of the members of our Boost Your Brain and Prevent Dementia groups. Nope, I don't see a note here. So again, I just want to thank everybody here on Facebook Live, and thanks, Joan, no questions. Dr. Shankman, thank you so much, folks. Make sure you check out her website at drheathershankman.com and follow her. I'll put the show notes up so you can get more information. Thanks very much.
Thanks so much for having me.